We meant to open a rift, the shocking human plan that saved the galaxy from itself. They whispered that humans tamed chaos itself, a myth too wild to believe. Yet in a lecture hall orbiting a dying star, three humans from Terra Vortex would soon prove it true, unraveling secrets that could reshape the galaxy. At 8 Wonders Galactic Standard Time on August 20th, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy buzzed with anticipation, its vast structure a lattice of gleaming durasteel, suspended in a nebula's violet glow. Within its core, a chamber pulsed with holographic projectors, ready to simulate worlds where survival was a gamble against nature's fury. Professor Vaxelian glided into the lecture hall, his 6 octopus-like limbs coiling with precision. His translucent skin shimmered pale blue, a sign of curiosity, as his 3-meter-tall frame loomed over the podium. A scholar from Zinara, a serene ocean world 12 light-years away, Vixelian wore a minimalist environmental suit embedded with holographic sensors that translated his thoughts into speech. His voice, a deep hum through the translator, filled the room. Chaos realms, he began, are planets where entropy reigns, worlds of fire, gravity storms, and time distortions. His skin flickered green as he activated the chamber's multidimensional simulator, projecting a hologram of a planet wreathed in crimson plasma storms, its surface buckling under 10-degree gravitational spikes. The room, a 50-meter-wide sphere with tiered seats, held 30 students from across the galaxy. Silith, a feathered cryonian with trembling talons, sat beside a gelatinous delegate from Vylor, their bioluminescent core pulsing nervously. The air thrummed with the Academy's quantum stabilizers, maintaining artificial gravity at a steady 1G. Vixelian's eyes, 4 glowing orbs, scanned the crowd. "These worlds defy life," he said, his skin shifting to a cautious yellow. "Yet some claim to thrive there. Who among you knows such a place?" The question hung, answered by a confident silence from the back row. 3 humans stood, their presence cutting through the murmurs. Nova Strath, a compact woman of 1.6 meters, her black hair cropped short, fixed Vixelian with eyes that seemed to pierce dimensions. Her silver nanosuit hummed, adjusting to the room's sterile 20-degree air. Kael Draven, towering at 1.9 meters, bore a faint scar across his cheek from a plasma flare. His gray armored suit clinked softly as he shifted, exuding calm calculation. Mira Loon, her silver hair cascading like a comet's tail, radiated warmth, her flexible tech suit glowing faintly. They hailed from Terra Vortex, a death world 8,000 light-years from the Academy, infamous for its plasma storms and erratic gravity. "Terra Vortex," Nova said, her voice sharp as a blade. "It's not just dangerous, it forges us." The room stilled. Silith's feathers ruffled, their translator stuttering. "Forge? You live there?" Vixelian's skin flared green, his curiosity piquing. "Explain," he urged, leaning forward, his limbs curling tighter. Kael stepped up, his low voice steady. "Our cities float 5 kilometers above storms that melt steel. We've turned chaos into power." His words, laced with understated pride, sparked whispers among the students. Mira smiled, her voice warm. "We don't just survive, we build futures from disasters." Vixelian's skin pulsed brighter, his translator humming. "A death world, yet you stand here, unafraid." He gestured to the hologram, now showing Terra Vortex, a planet of jagged obsidian peaks, lashed by blue plasma arcs, its skies torn by gravitational rifts. The simulation rendered a city suspended on anti-grav platforms, its spires glinting against a supernova's distant glow. "How?" Vixelian asked, his voice tinged with awe. Nova's lips curled. "We learned to bend chaos to our will. Want a demonstration?" The challenge hung, bold and unshaken. The other students shifted uncomfortably. Silas' voice quavered through their translator. "You harness plasma? How do your bodies not disintegrate?" Kael chuckled, his tone dry. "Careful engineering and stubbornness." The room buzzed with disbelief, but Vixelian's skin glowed a vibrant green, his excitement palpable. Fascinating, he murmured, his limbs gesturing rapidly. Your world defies galactic norms. Tell us more. He adjusted the simulator, zooming into Terra Vortex's surface, where storms raged with 500-kilometer-per-hour winds. Nova took the lead, her voice commanding. Our ancestors faced extinction daily, gravity spikes, plasma surges, quakes of 9.2 magnitude. She pointed to the hologram, where a city's shields flared against a storm. We built deflectors to redirect plasma into energy cores, powering homes for millions. Kael added, every variable is calculated. We predict storms with 98% accuracy. Mira's eyes gleamed. It's not just tech, it's who we are. Together, we turn chaos into opportunity. The students gaped, their translators struggling to convey the humans' confidence. Vixelian's skin shimmered, a mix of green and gold. Your species, you see chaos as a puzzle, not a threat. He paced, his limbs weaving patterns in the air. This class studies chaos realms to prepare for galactic threats. Your experience is unprecedented. He turned to the simulator, its hologram now cycling through other chaos realms, worlds of liquid methane geysers and temporal anomalies. Tomorrow, he declared, we begin practical simulations. You three will lead. His voice held a challenge, his skin pulsing with anticipation. The humans exchanged glances, Nova's eyes narrowing with purpose, Kael's scar twitching with a smirk, and Mira's smile radiating quiet strength. Silith whispered to a neighbor, they're reckless, aren't they? The Valorian's core dimmed, signaling unease. Vixelian ignored them, his focus locked on the humans. Share your world's secrets, he said, his translator's hum rising. Show us how Terra Vortex shaped you. The room's lights dimmed, the simulator's glow casting shadows across the students' faces as the humans prepared to unveil their story. No species had ever claimed chaos as their crucible until humans spoke. At 09:15 Galactic Standard Time on August 20th, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy's lecture hall hummed with tension, its durasteel walls reflecting the nebula's violet haze 10 light-years away. The holographic simulator cast a flickering glow, displaying Terra Vortex's jagged peaks and plasma storms, raging at 600 kilometers per hour. Three humans stood before their peers, their confidence a stark contrast to the trembling awe of the other students. Professor Vixelian's skin pulsed a vibrant green, his 6 limbs curling with anticipation as he invited them to speak. Nova Strath stepped forward, framed eyes that seemed to slice through the room's sterile 20-seating air. Her silver nanosuit whirred softly, its sensors adjusting to the Academy's artificial gravity. I'm Nova, she said, her voice sharp and unyielding. On Terra Vortex, I lead because chaos demands clarity. Her words cut through the murmurs, silencing the crowd. Vixelian's skin flared brighter, his translator humming. Lead? How do you impose order on such a world? He asked, his 4 eyes glinting. Kael Draven followed, his gray armored suit clinking as he moved. A faint scar traced his cheek, a relic of a plasma flare that had scorched a settlement when he was 15. Kael, he introduced, his voice low and deliberate. I'm the strategist. Chaos is just variables to solve. He gestured to the hologram, where a gravitational rift twisted the air, spiking to HG for 10-second bursts. Silith, the Cryonian, flinched, their feathered limbs trembling. Variables? They stammered through their translator. You calculate that? Kael's lips twitched. Every day. Akrikun. Mira Loon completed the trio, her silver hair shimmering like a supernova's halo, cascading 30 centimeters past her shoulders. Her flexible tech suit glowed faintly, its interface syncing with the simulator's controls. At 1.7 meters, she moved with grace, her warm voice softening the room's tension. I'm Mira, born in a colony that harvests supernova energy, 2 light-years from Terra Vortex. She smiled, her eyes catching the hologram's light. We don't just endure, we unite to thrive. The Valorian students' core dimmed, their translator buzzing with disbelief. Nova retook the lead, her voice steady as she described their home. Terra Vortex is a death world. Plasma storms rage for 168 hours, melting rock at 2,500 Hustinghour CDC. Gravity shifts from 1G to 12G in minutes. The hologram shifted, showing obsidian cliffs splintered by blue arcs of plasma, their energy crackling across a 100-kilometer front. Our cities float 5 kilometers above the surface, she continued, on anti-grav platforms anchored by durasteel cables, each 10 meters thick. The simulator zoomed in, revealing spires glinting under a sky torn by a supernova's glow. Kael added, his tone analytical. We harness plasma flows, converting them into energy cores that power 12 million people. He pointed to a holographic city, its shields flaring as they deflected a storm's 800-megawatt surge. Our algorithms predict storm patterns with 97% accuracy, recalibrating every 30 seconds. Silas' feathers ruffled, their voice quaking. You drink that energy? How do you not burn? Kael's scar twitched with a smirk. We don't drink it, we channel it. Mira's voice rose, warm and unifying. It's not just tech, it's us together. She gestured to the hologram, where colonists worked in sync, their suits glowing against the storm's fury. On Terra Vortex, every disaster is a chance to build stronger. We turn chaos into homes, power, futures. The room fell silent, the other students' translators humming as they processed her words. Vixelian's skin pulsed green and gold, his limbs weaving excited patterns. You see chaos as opportunity, he said, his translator's hum rising. Extraordinary! Silith raised a talon, their voice trembling through the translator. Your bodies, how do they withstand such extremes? Nova's eyes gleamed. They forge them. Our bones adapt to gravity shifts. Our suits handle the rest. She tapped her nanosuit, its surface rippling as it adjusted to a simulated 3G spike. The Vylorian's core flickered erratically, their fear palpable. Vixelian leaned forward, his skin a vivid green. Your resilience defies galactic records, he said. Show us in practice. The professor gestured to the simulator, its hologram now cycling through other chaos realms. A methane ocean boiling under a collapsing star, a planet where time dilated unpredictably. Tomorrow at 10 Imrahak, Vixelian announced, his voice resonant, we begin virtual reality simulations of these worlds. His limbs curled tightly, betraying a mix of awe and caution. You three will demonstrate how Terra Vortex shaped your skills. His skin flickered yellow briefly, a hint of unease at their boldness. Nova nodded, her gaze unwavering. We're ready to show you what humans can do. Kael's hand rested on his suit's interface, his fingers tapping a rhythm of calculated confidence. Mira's smile widened, her voice soft but firm. Let's make chaos our classroom. The other students exchanged glances, their unease rippling through the room. Silith whispered, They're fearless. Is that safe? Vixelian's skin steadied to green, his excitement overriding doubt. Let's find out, he said, his translator humming with anticipation. Chaos bowed to no one, yet humans dared to command it. At 10 Locksteer Galactic Standard Time on August 21st, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy's simulation chamber thrummed with energy, its 50-meter-wide sphere glowing under the nebula's violet light. The multidimensional VR system, a lattice of quantum projectors embedded in durasteel walls, flickered to life, recreating a chaos realm. A jagged planet of molten obsidian, lashed by plasma storms at 700 kilometers per hour, its gravity spiking erratically between 1G and 8G. 30 students, strapped into neural harnesses, braced for immersion, their faces lit by the simulator's eerie blue glow. Professor Vixelian's 6 limbs danced across the control panel, his translucent skin pulsing green with excitement. His 3-meter-tall frame loomed, his environmental suit's holographic sensors humming as they translated his thoughts. This is Azipharon 7, he announced, his deep voice resonating through the chamber. A chaos realm where gravity shifts in 10-second cycles. Your task, stabilize it. The hologram showed a storm tearing across a 200-kilometer plain, arcs of plasma crackling at 3,000 degrees. Vixelian's 4 eyes scanned the students, lingering on the 3 humans from Terra Vortex. Nova Strath adjusted her silver nanosuit, its sensors syncing with the VR interface. Her black hair clung to her forehead as she stepped into the simulation, her eyes sharp as lasers. With a flick of her wrist, she manipulated the virtual controls, bending gravity from 1G to 5G in 30 seconds, stabilizing a 10-kilometer zone. Like riding a storm, she said, her voice cutting through the simulator's roar. Scythe, the Cryonian, flailed in their harness, their feathers ruffling as gravity pinned them. "How do you move?" they gasped through their translator. Kael Draven, his gray armored suit whirring as he analyzed the storm's patterns. His scarred cheek twitched as he tapped his interface, mapping wind vectors at 400 kilometers per hour. "Plasma flows follow predictable cycles," he said, his low voice calm. "Redirect the energy, not the storm." His strategy rerouted the plasma into a virtual energy grid, powering a simulated city. The Valorian students' core flickered, their translator buzzing. "Predictable? That's chaos," Kyle smirked. "Chaos is just math we haven't solved yet." Mira Loon, her tech suit pulsed, linking her to the group's neural network. "Together, we can control this," she said, her warm voice steadying the panicked students. She adjusted the VR interface, syncing their efforts to Nova's gravity manipulation. The simulation stabilized, the storm's fury dimming as the group followed her lead. Vixleon's skin shifted from green to gold, his limbs curling tightly. "Remarkable coordination," he murmured. The other students struggled, their harnesses straining against the simulated 6G spikes. Scythe's talons scratched the air, their translator stammering. "Your bodies. How do they endure this?" Nova grinned, her nanosuit compensating for a sudden 7G surge. "We're built for worse on Terra Vortex," she said. Mira added, "Our colonies tap supernovae 2 light-years away. This is just practice." The hologram flickered, showing a Terra Vortex city harvesting 1014 watts from a star's collapse, its shields glowing against a plasma barrage. Tension spiked at 10:45 when the simulation glitched, gravity surging to 9G for 15 seconds. The chamber shook, its stabilizers humming at 120 decibels. Scythe screeched, their feathers shedding, while the Valorian's core dimmed to near black. Nova's hands flew across the controls, recalibrating gravity to 2G in 20 seconds. Kael's fingers danced, redirecting the storm's 500-megawatt surge into the grid. Mira's voice cut through, calm and firm. "Stay focused. We've got this." The simulation stabilized, the planet's surface settling under their control. Vixelian's skin pulsed gold, his translator humming with awe. "You turned chaos into order in minutes," he said, his limbs weaving excited patterns. "No species has adapted this quickly." He gestured to the hologram, now showing a calm Zipheron 7, its storms channeled into energy streams. "Your world's lessons are unparalleled." Scythe, still trembling, whispered, "You laugh at gravity storms?" Kael's scar twitched. "We don't laugh. We build on them." The professor stepped back, his skin steadying to green. "Tomorrow at 09 Yakano," he declared, "we escalate to a chaos rift simulation, a multidimensional tear." His voice held a mix of excitement and caution, his eyes fixed on the humans. "You'll lead again." Nova nodded, her eyes gleaming with purpose. Kael adjusted his suit, his fingers still tapping calculations. Mira smiled, her voice warm. "Let's show them what chaos can teach." The chamber's lights dimmed, the simulator powering down, leaving the students in stunned silence. No species could forge cities from storms, yet humans called it home. At 11 Horner Galactic Standard Time on August 21st, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy's lecture hall pulsed with the simulator's violet glow, its durasteel walls reflecting the nebula's light 10 light-years away. The holographic display projected Terra Vortex, a 12,000-kilometer-wide death world, its surface scarred by plasma storms raging at 800 kilometers per hour, gravity lurching between 1G and 10G every 20 minutes. 30 students sat riveted, their neural harnesses humming as the 3 humans from Terra Vortex took the floor. Nova Strath stood firm. "Our cities float 5 kilometers above Terra Vortex's surface," she began, her voice sharp as a blade. Plasma storms last 48 hours, hitting 2,500 degrees, melting anything unshielded. Hakurlasan, the hologram showed a city of gleaming spires suspended on anti-grav platforms 200 meters wide, their durasteel cables anchoring against 600 megawatt surges. Our nanosuits, she added, tapping her chest, withstand 2,000 degrees CC, adjusting to gravity shifts in 5 seconds. Sylith, the Creonian, flinched, their feathers trembling. We don't just survive storms, we harness them, Kael Draven said, his low voice measured. Our energy cores capture plasma flows, converting 99% of their output into power. The hologram zoomed into a core, a 10-meter sphere pulsing with 10^13 watts, feeding a city of 10 million. Risk is calculated to 99% accuracy, recalibrating every 15 seconds, he added. The Valorian's core dimmed, their translator buzzing. You predict chaos? It's not just tech, it's us, Mira said, her warm voice binding the room. We unite to turn disasters into futures, powering 10 million lives. The simulator showed colonists working in sync, their suits flaring as they redirected a storm's energy. Every citizen learns to read plasma patterns by age 10, she said. Together we thrive. Sylith's translator stammered, Thrive? On that? Mira smiled. Chaos is our teacher. Professor Vixelian's skin flickered from green to red, his 6 limbs curling tightly. His 3-meter-tall frame leaned forward, his translator humming with urgency. You build amidst such peril? He asked, his 4 eyes wide. What drives this audacity? Nova's eyes gleamed. Chaos isn't a threat. It's a creative challenge. The hologram shifted, showing a city weathering a 9.3 magnitude quake, its shields glowing against a 100-kilometer plasma front. The other students gasped, their translators buzzing with panic. Sylith whispered, Your cities, they don't collapse? Kael's scar twitched with a smirk. They're built to flex, he said. Our platforms adjust to 12G spikes using dampeners calibrated to 0. 1 milliseconds. He pointed to the hologram where a city's core pulsed, stabilizing a 50-kilometer zone. We've lost 0.02% of platforms in 50 years. The Valorian's core flickered erratically, their voice faint. You live like this. Willingly? Kael nodded. It's why we're here. The room buzzed, the students' unease palpable against the humans' calm. Mira's voice rose, steady and warm. Our colonies tap supernovae 2 light-years away, she said, gesturing to the hologram's image of a star collapsing, its 10-15-watt output channeled into Terra Vortex's grid. We don't just survive, we shape our world. Vixelian's skin pulsed red, his limbs weaving nervous patterns. This defies galactic understanding, he said. Your species sees chaos as art? Nova nodded, her voice firm. It's how we evolve. The simulator cycled to a new image, a chaos rift, a tear in space-time glowing with unstable energy. Vixelian's eyes narrowed, his translator humming. Chaos rifts, he said, are multidimensional fractures, capable of unraveling stars. His skin steadied to yellow, signaling caution. Your world's resilience suggests you could face one? Nova's lips curled. We've studied rifts in theory. Let's test the real thing. The room stilled, the other students exchanging glances. Sylith's voice quavered. Test a rift? You're insane, Kael chuckled, his tone dry. Insanity is just perspective. Mira leaned forward, her eyes bright. We can show you how we'd handle it, she said, her voice uniting the group. Chaos rifts are just another challenge. Vixelian's skin flickered green again, his excitement returning. Tomorrow, at 14 at Rushern, he announced, we simulate a rift in the VR chamber. His limbs gestured rapidly, his translator's hum rising. You 3 will lead, but beware, rifts are unpredictable. The simulator powered down, its glow fading, leaving the room in tense silence. Nova exchanged a glance with Kael and Mira, her eyes sharp with purpose. Kael's fingers tapped his suit, calculating risks. Mira's smile held steady, radiating confidence. The other students whispered, their translators buzzing with fear and awe. Sylith muttered, they court disaster like it's a game. Vixelian's skin pulsed green, his voice firm. Let's see how they play it. The lecture hall's lights dimmed, the nebula's glow casting long shadows, as the humans prepared to unveil their next move. They opened a rift to chaos, and the galaxy held its breath. At 14 Galactic Standard Time on August 22nd, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy's simulation chamber roared to life. Its 50-meter sphere bathed in the nebula's violet glow, 10 light-years distant. The multidimensional VR system hummed, projecting a chaos rift, a 5-meter tear in space-time, pulsating with 1016 watts of unstable energy, its edges warping gravity to 12 Dre in erratic bursts. 30 students, strapped into neural harnesses, felt the chamber's durasteel floor vibrate at 130 decibels as the simulation pushed the limits of their training. Professor Vixelian's 6 limbs danced frantically across the control panel, his translucent skin pulsing green with excitement. His 3-meter frame loomed, his environmental suit's holographic sensors flickering as he spoke. This rift mirrors those threatening galactic stability, he said, his translator's deep hum cutting through the noise. Stabilize it, or it consumes all. The hologram showed a starry void fracturing, its energy arcing like plasma across a 20-kilometer front. His 4 eyes locked on the humans from Terra Vortex, expecting their lead. With a flick of her wrist, Nova adjusted the simulator's gravity field, aiming to collapse the rift. Let's push its limits, she muttered, her voice steady despite the 8G spike pinning others. Her controls surged and the rift flared, expanding to 10 meters in 5 minutes, its energy spiking to 1017 watts. Silith, the Cryonian, screeched, their feathers shedding. You broke it, they cried through their translator. Not broken, opened, Kael Draven said, his low voice calm. We predicted this. It's an opportunity. His calculations revealed the rift's expansion followed a pattern Terra Vortex's algorithms had modeled, with 98% accuracy. The Valorian's core dimmed to black, their translator stuttering. Opportunity? It's annihilation, Kael's lips curled. Only if you panic. We can fix this together, Mira Loon said, her warm voice soothing the trembling students. She synced their neural harnesses, aligning their efforts with Nova's controls. Focus on the energy flow, she urged, her interface stabilizing the group's input. The rift's growth slowed, but its 15-meter diameter now shook the Academy's stabilizers, rattling the chamber at 7.5 Richter. Vixelian's skin flared red, his limbs thrashing in panic. This is no simulation, he shouted, his translator buzzing. You've opened a real rift. He slammed the emergency override, but the system locked, its quantum core overloaded by the rift's energy. His 4 eyes widened, his skin pulsing crimson. Evacuate, he ordered, but the humans didn't flinch. Nova's eyes gleamed. We meant to open it, she said, her voice cutting through the chaos. Silith froze, their translator silent, while the Valorian's core flickered wildly. The twist landed like a shockwave. The humans had deliberately pushed the simulator's limits, testing a theory from Terra Vortex's rift studies. Kael's voice stayed steady. We've modeled rifts for years. This one's ours to control. He tapped his interface, projecting a containment strategy to collapse the rift into a 2-meter core within 10 minutes. Mira's smile held firm, her voice rallying the students. Help us, and we'll turn this into power for the galaxy. The other species hesitated, their harnesses straining as the rift's energy surged. The rift's expansion reached beyond the Academy, its gravitational waves rippling across a 100-kilometer radius, destabilizing the nebula's star cluster. Alarms blared at 150 decibels, and the chamber's lights flickered, casting jagged shadows. Silith and the others scrambled, their translators buzzing with panic. You'll kill us all, Silith wailed, their talons scratching the air. Nova's voice snapped back. We've faced worse storms. Stay with us. Her nanosuit adjusted, countering a 10-Dre spike as she recalibrated the rift's field. Vixelian, his skin a solid red, summoned an emergency conference via quantum link. To the multiversal hall now, he barked, his limbs flailing as he led the students out. The rift's glow illuminated the chamber, its 18-meter diameter pulsing with 10 newton 18 watts, threatening to fracture the Academy's 500-meter structure. The humans moved calmly, Nova leading, Kael calculating, and Mira unifying. "We've got a plan," Kael said, his scar twitching with a smirk. "Let's show them how humans handle chaos." The group hurried through the Academy's corridors, their boots echoing on durasteel floors. The nebula's light filtered through transparent panels, casting eerie violet hues. Siliths stumbled, their feathers trailing, while the Vylorian's core pulsed erratically. Vixelian's translator buzzed, his voice urgent. "The Council will judge this recklessness." Nova's lips curled. "Let them. We'll close the rift and prove our point." The hall loomed ahead, its quantum-linked amphitheater ready for a galactic reckoning, as the humans prepared to face the consequences. The galaxy feared annihilation, but humans saw a chance to shine. At 15:30 Galactic Standard Time on August 22nd, 30:50, the multiversal hall of the Interstellar Nexus Academy glowed with quantum-linked holograms, connecting representatives from 20 species across 50 light-years. The 100-meter amphitheater, carved from translucent durasteel, shimmered under the nebula's violet light, its air thick with tension as the Chaos Rift's 20-meter diameter pulsed 500 kilometers away, radiating 1019 watts of destructive energy. Alarms echoed at 160 decibels, and the Academy's stabilizers groaned under 7 Richter tremors. Professor Vixelian stood at the hall's center, his 3-meter frame rigid, his translucent skin a blazing red. His 6 limbs twitched, his holographic suit flickering as his translator boomed. "The rift threatens the nebula's core," he declared, his 4 eyes darting to the humans. The hologram overhead showed the rift tearing space-time, its gravitational waves rippling across a 200-kilometer front. Representatives, a crystalline delegate from Solera, a gaseous entity from Vorn, and Silith, the trembling Cryonian, projected their images, their translators buzzing with panic. Silith's feathers quaked, their voice shrill through the translator. "Humans caused this," they accused, talons slashing the air. "Your recklessness endangers us all." The Celeran's crystals vibrated, their voice a low hum. "Why unleash such chaos?" Nova Strath stepped forward, her silver nanosuit humming against the hall's 20-year sitting air. "It's not recklessness," she snapped, her eyes piercing. "It's a calculated test to push dimensional tech forward." The hall fell silent, the accusation hanging heavy. Kyle Draven stood beside her, his gray-armored suit steady as he projected a holographic blueprint. His scarred cheek twitched, his voice calm. "We've modeled rifts on Terra Vortex for decades," he said. "This device, our multidimensional stabilizer, can close it in 15 minutes. Hunara, the hologram, showed a 2-meter cube, its quantum core pulsing to contain 10^18 watts. We predicted this outcome with 99% accuracy," he added. The Vorn's gaseous form swirled, their translator hissing. "You planned this catastrophe?" Mira Loon moved forward. Her warm voice cut through the panic. "Not a catastrophe, a breakthrough," she said. "This rift can power the galaxy for centuries if we control it." She gestured to the hologram, showing a stabilized rift channeling energy to 100 planets. "Join us, and we'll build a future together." The representatives hesitated, their translators buzzing with doubt, but her words stirred a flicker of hope. Vixelian's skin shifted from red to yellow, his limbs slowing. "You foresaw this?" he asked, his translator humming with awe. "Your audacity is staggering." Nova's lips curled. "Terra Vortex taught us to tame chaos, not fear it." The rift's tremors intensified, shaking the hall with 7.2 Richter jolts, its diameter now 25 meters. Silith screeched, "It's spreading! We're doomed!" The Celeran's crystals dimmed, their hum faltering. Kael's voice stayed steady. "Only if you give up. Our plan's ready." The twist landed like a supernova. The humans had engineered the rift's activation, using the Academy's simulator to test a solution they'd developed years ago on Terra Vortex. Kael's hologram detailed the stabilizer's specs: a 99% containment rate, redirecting the rift's energy into a 1020-watt grid. Mira's smile held firm, her voice rallying. "We've faced worse storms. Let's close this together. The Vorn's form steadied, their translator softening. You believe this can work? Mira nodded. We know it will. Vixelian's skin flickered green, his awe overtaking fear. Your species defies reason, he said, his limbs weaving excited patterns. Lead, and we follow. The hall buzzed, the representatives' panic clashing with the humans' calm. Silith's voice trembled. You're insane, but we have no choice. Nova's eyes gleamed. Good. Let's move. She gestured to Kael, who synced the stabilizer's blueprint to the quantum link, sharing it with the representatives. The rift's glow intensified, its energy spiking to 10-20 watts, shaking the nebula's core. The humans moved with purpose, Nova directing the group to the simulation chamber, 200 meters away. Kael's fingers flew across his interface, calibrating the stabilizer for deployment. Mira's voice unified the representatives, her tech suit pulsing as she coordinated their support. The hall's lights flickered, the tremors now 7.5 Richter, as the rift's 30-meter diameter loomed. Vixelian's translator hummed, his voice firm. Implement your plan now! The humans nodded, their confidence unshaken, as the galaxy's fate hung in the balance. The galaxy braced for oblivion, but humans sculpted chaos into salvation. At 17:00 Galactic Standard Time on August 22, 3050, the Interstellar Nexus Academy's simulation chamber roared, its 50-meter sphere trembling under the Chaos Rift's 50-meter diameter, pulsing with 1021 watts of raw energy. The nebula's violet glow, 10 light-years away, flickered through durasteel panels as gravitational waves shook the Academy at 7.8 Richter. 20 species, linked via quantum holograms, watched the three humans from Terra Vortex lead a desperate alliance to tame the rift. Nova Strath stood at the chamber's core, her silver nanosuit humming as it countered 12G spikes. Her sharp eyes locked on the rift's glowing maw, her hands flying across the multidimensional stabilizer's interface, a 2-meter cube pulsing with quantum energy. Contract the field, she commanded, her voice cutting through the 120 decibel alarms. In 20 minutes, she manipulated space-time, shrinking the rift from 50 meters to 10, its edges stabilizing as she redirected its 10-20-watt surges. Silith, the Cryonian, gaped, their feathers still. You're bending reality, they whispered. Kael Draven stood beside her, his gray armored suit steady as he calculated energy flows. His scarred cheek twitched, his fingers dancing over his interface. The rift's output can power 100 planets, he said, his low voice calm. We're channeling 10-15 watts into a galactic grid. His hologram showed the stabilizer converting the rift's chaos into a stable energy stream, its efficiency hitting 99.8%. The Valorian's core pulsed erratically, their translator stammering. You're stealing chaos's power? Kael smirked. We're borrowing it. Mira Loon, her tech suit pulsed, syncing the neural harnesses of 20 species. Stay with us, she urged, her warm voice steadying the trembling delegates. This rift is our future. She coordinated their inputs, ensuring the stabilizer's field held as the rift's energy surged. The Siluran's crystals vibrated, their hum softening. Your unity, it's unnatural, they said. Mira smiled. It's human. Professor Vixelian's skin flared yellow, vibrating with awe, his holographic suit humming as he monitored the stabilizer. Your precision is unprecedented, he said, his translator buzzing. The rift's core pulsed violently, its 12-meter diameter threatening to erupt with 10-22 watts. The chamber shook, its stabilizers whining at 180 decibels, as a 15-second gravity spike hit 15G. Silith screeched, It's going to explode! The Valorian's core dimmed, their panic rippling through the quantum link. The tension peaked, the rift's core flaring red, its energy spiking to 1023 watts in 5 seconds. The Academy's 500-meter structure groaned, durasteel beams bending under the strain. Oh my God, Vixelian muttered, his skin crimson, his limbs thrashing. Nova's hands didn't falter, her nanosuit countering the surge. We've got this, she said, her voice a blade of calm. Kael's calculations adjusted the stabilizer, redirecting the spike into a containment field. Mira's voice rose. Together, we end this. The alliance held, their focus unbroken. The twist detonated. The humans hadn't just predicted the rift. They'd engineered its chaos to test their stabilizer, a plan forged on Terra Vortex's storm-lashed plains. We built this tech to tame rifts, Kael said, his scar twitching with a grin. Chaos is our canvas. The stabilizer hummed, collapsing the rift to a 2-meter core, its energy now a steady 10-15-watt stream. The chamber's tremors eased to 4 Richter, and the alarms fell silent. Silith's translator buzzed. You controlled that? The Vylorian's core steadied, their awe palpable. Vixelian's skin shifted to a radiant gold, his 4 eyes wide. You turned annihilation into power, he said, his translator humming with reverence. The rift closed completely at 1725, its energy now fueling a galactic grid, projected to sustain 200 planets for centuries. The representatives, once panicked, now projected holograms of bowed heads and raised limbs, their translators buzzing with praise. Silith whispered, "Humans, you're impossible." Nova's eyes gleamed. "We're just getting started." Mira stepped forward, her voice warm and commanding. "This is only the beginning," she said. "Join us to build a stronger galaxy." The hologram showed a network of energy relays, linking stars across 50 light-years. Kael's interface confirmed the grid's stability, its output steady at 10 or 16 watts. Vixelian's limbs curled tightly, his skin a vibrant gold. "You've redefined chaos," he said. "We must discuss the future." He gestured to the quantum link, summoning a grand conference. The humans exchanged glances, Nova's eyes sharp, Kael's scar twitching, and Mira's smile unwavering. The chamber's light steadied, the nebula's glow casting long shadows. Silith's feathers settled, their voice soft. "We doubted you, and you saved us." The Vylorian's core glowed bright, their translator clear. "Lead us." Vixelian's voice boomed. "To the multiversal hall at 19 Navrarum. We plan the galaxy's next steps." The alliance moved, unified by the humans' triumph, as the rift's glow faded into a new dawn. Chaos was their crucible, and humans forged a galactic dawn. At 19 Urn, Galactic Standard Time on August 22, 3050, the multiversal hall of the Interstellar Nexus Academy glowed with quantum holograms, linking 20 species across 50 light-years. The 100-meter amphitheater, its translucent durasteel walls shimmering under the nebula's violet light, hummed with anticipation. The Chaos Rift, now a stable 10-16-watt energy grid, powered a network spanning 200 planets, its glow a testament to human ingenuity. Representatives from Celera, Vorn, and Cryon sat in awe, their translators buzzing softly as the humans from Terra Vortex took the stage. Nova Strath, her sharp eyes scanned the delegates, her voice cutting through the silence. "We've closed the rift and turned chaos into power," she declared. "Now we upgrade galactic tech to face multidimensional threats." She projected a hologram of a new stabilizer network, capable of containing rifts up to 100 meters wide, with 99% efficiency. The Silaran's crystals vibrated, their hum soft. "You reshape galaxies," they said, awe in their tone. Kael Draven, with a faint smirk. "Our strategy is long-term," he said, his low voice measured. "Humanity will lead a coalition to map chaos realms, ensuring no rift threatens again." His hologram outlined a 50-year plan, deploying 1,000 stabilizers across 10 sectors, each harnessing 1017 watts. The Vorn's gaseous form swirled, their translator clear. "You claim leadership?" Kael nodded. "We've earned it. Chaos is our domain." Mira Loon, her warm voice unified the hall. "We're stronger together," she said, her eyes catching the nebula's light. "Join us to build a galaxy that thrives on chaos, not fears it." Her hologram showed planets linked by energy relays, their economies booming with 1018 watts of shared power. Silith, the Cryonian, raised a talon, their voice steady. "You've proven yourselves. We follow." The hall buzzed, a tide of agreement rising. Professor Vixelian's skin blazed green, his 3-meter frame vibrating with reverence. His 6 limbs wove slow patterns, his holographic suit humming. "Humans are chaos pioneers," he said, his translator's hum resonant. "You've redefined our future." His 4 eyes gleamed, fixed on the trio. The holograms shifted, showing Terra Vortex's floating cities, their spires glowing against 800-kilometer-per-hour plasma storms. "Your world forged you into leaders," he added. Nova's lips curled. "It's what we do. Turn chaos into order." The representatives, once skeptical, now projected holograms of bowed heads and raised limbs. The Celeran's crystals glowed brighter, their hum warm. "We doubted you," they said. "Now we trust." The Vorn's form steadied, their translator firm. "Lead us forward." Salith's feathers settled, their voice soft. "You tamed a rift. What can't you do?" The hall's quantum link pulsed, transmitting their unity across 50 light-years, as the nebula's glow cast long shadows. Nova's voice rose, sharp and resolute. "This grid is just the start," she said. "We'll map every chaos realm, turning threats into assets." Her hologram showed a galaxy-wide network, stabilizers deployed on 500 planets, each countering 12G gravity spikes and 3,000 Degrassi plasma surges. Kael added, "Our algorithms predict risks with 99% accuracy, recalibrating every 10 seconds. His scar twitched, his confidence unshaken. Mira's smile widened, her voice warm. "Together we'll make the galaxy unbreakable." The Academy's walls steadied, the rift's tremors gone, replaced by the hum of a new energy grid. The delegates' translators buzzed with plans, their voices blending into a galactic chorus. Vixelian's skin pulsed a radiant green, his limbs curling tightly. "You've turned chaos into hope," he said. "Humanity leads, and we follow." The hologram faded to a vision of a fortified galaxy, its stars linked by human ingenuity, safe from multidimensional threats for millennia. The humans stood together, transformed from students to galactic heroes. Nova, once a bold leader, now radiated unyielding authority. Kael, the strategist, had woven chaos into a calculated triumph. Mira, the unifier, had forged a coalition from doubt. Their journey from Terra Vortex's storm-lashed plains to the multiversal hall echoed the HFY spirit. Humanity didn't just survive chaos, it sculpted it into progress. The delegates rose, their holograms flickering in unison, pledging to a future led by humans. The hall's lights dimmed, the nebula's violet glow framing the scene. Mira's voice lingered, soft but powerful. "Chaos is our forge. Let's build the future." The representatives nodded, their awe palpable as the galaxy stood stronger, its 1019-watt grid a monument to human resilience. The story closed with a vision of stars united, humanity at the helm, and a question left hanging. What new chaos would they conquer next?